Hello there, many thanks for joining us once again here on Razep Africa. As usual, we are here to give you updates across Africa, getting you abreast with what's going on so that you too would love Africa a bit more every day. But at first, before we get into the topic of the day, where we'll be discussing the conscience question. Can Africa's future be built on values, integrity, and moral leadership? That's the question that will be answered by my guest that will be joining us shortly. But first is the African News Update. And on the African News Update desk, we begin in North Africa, where Egypt's President Abdel Fattah is reaffirming Cairo's support for regional stability and cooperation across the continent. In remarks made during high-level engagement with African leaders, El-Sisi reiterated Egypt's commitment to backing African-led solutions to security, political, and economic challenges. He stressed the importance of dialogue, respect for sovereignty, and stronger continental institutions in addressing conflict and development gaps. The Egyptian leader also underscored Cairo's willingness to work closely with regional blocs and neighboring states to promote peace and economic integration. Now, according to observers, the statement comes at a time when Egypt is repositioning itself as a key diplomatic and security player across North and East Africa, particularly amid growing instability in parts of the Sahel and the Horn of Africa. Meanwhile, South Africa has announced plans to withdraw its troops from the United Nations peacekeeping mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo. President Cyril Ramaphosa informed UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres of this decision, ending the nearly 27 years of South African participation in the MONUSCO. Pretoria currently has more than 700 troops deployed in the conflict-prone eastern regions of the DRC. South Africa says that the move is driven by the need to consolidate and realign defense resources, with the withdrawal expected to be completed before the end of the year. However, officials insist that Pretoria will continue to support peace efforts in Congo through diplomatic and regional and multilateral channels, even as fighting escalates in parts of eastern DRC, where MONUSCO maintains close to 11,000 personnel. Turning to the Horn of Africa, Ethiopia has called on Eritrea to pull its troops back to the border amid renewed tension between the two neighbors. Addis Ababa says the continued presence of Eritrean forces in tested areas risk undermining regional stability and reversing fragile gains made since 2018 peace agreement. The call raises fresh concerns about security in the Horn, where unresolved border disputes and shifting alliances continue to threaten peace. Analysts, however, have warned that escalation between Ethiopia and Eritrea could have far-reaching complications and implications for neighboring countries already grappling with humanitarian and security crises. Next, we go to Algeria, that has begun the process of cancelling its air services agreement with the United Arab Emirates, a move that signals growing diplomatic strain between the two countries. This agreement, signed in Abu Dhabi in 2013, allowed commercial air operations between both nations. Algeria's state media confirmed that formal proceedings have been initiated to terminate the deal through diplomatic channels, with the International Civil Aviation Organization also set to be notified. While no official reason has been given, Algerian media has accused the UAE of meddling in regional affairs and attempting to destabilize the country. President Abdelmadjid Tebboune previously hinted at tensions with the one Gulf state, contrasting it with Algeria's brotherly relations with Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, and Oman. The UAE has yet to respond to the latest development. Now, in Central Africa, the Commission of the Economic and Monetary Community of Central Africa, known of course as CEMAC, has announced the suspension of almost all its projects and official missions. The Commission says that the pause will remain in place until there is a significant improvement in the collection of community integration tax, its main source of funding, which state members levy on imports but have increasingly failed to remit. CEMAC brings together 6 countries, that's Cameroon, Gabon, Chad, the Republic of Congo, the Central Republic, and Equatorial Guinea. Officials have also warned that the suspension could slow regional integration efforts, delay infrastructure projects, and affect the free movement of goods at times when the Central Africa is already facing economic pressures and security challenges. And finally, Uganda and Tanzania have moved to strengthen bilateral ties following high-level talks between their leaders. In Dar es Salaam, President Samia Suluhu Hassan hosted Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni with discussions focusing on trade, infrastructure development, and regional peace, reaffirming long-standing ties dating back to the independence in the 1960s. At the heart of talks with the East African crude oil pipeline project, which both leaders described as a symbol of strong cooperation. The $5 billion pipeline is expected to begin transporting Ugandan oil through Tanzania's Tanga port later this year, alongside broader plans to integrate rail network and reduce trade barriers across East Africa. That's it for the African news update this morning.